Hey, have you ever met someone really nice? A person who always smiles, caring, and inherently kind. But then after some time you start to notice them liking viral posts on Insta and following Kanye? You probably don't understand who the hell am I talking about, unless you clicked on this video after seeing the thumbnail. Awkward. So, I just want to make things clear with furries and understand what the hell is that. We had to embrace the big tent. We have no choice. Wow, I can't believe this photo even exists. But I guess the internet is capable of many things that won't fit in our minds. But the further we go, the more surprised you'll get. Especially if you, like me, barely know anything about furries, it's gonna be extra special for you. And by the way, this movement even has their own leader. And he truly believes that he does something meaningful. Furries put their asses on the line in the real world in fursuits, unlike keyboard warriors. If you think you can go out there and look perfect with no fursuits, be my guest. Until then, furs represent the movement, and if you don't like it, keep your mouth shut. I like to look at this story from the perspective of how quickly the tables can turn. For now, they're just like guys who don't want to be bullied for wearing the fursuits, and apparently Yahtzee signs. I actually was trying to understand for some time why Yahtzee furries is even an existing thing. That's the opposite of the idea of the community. Furries have always been one of the most open communities to the minorities. And then we have this out of nowhere. As understood, it all started as a joke mocking Yahtzees. But you know, they changed that idea in the middle of the process. The truth? Non-furries are jealous of the headway furries are making. So they lash out and do this neoconservative thing being intimidated by fursuits. They're just afraid and trying to tone down their message because they think furries are too far right because of their radical revolutionary representation. Oh, so he became Yahtzee to become more accepted by non-furries? Oh my god, I can't believe that's the world we live in. Sad times, people don't follow small creators like me. But you can change it. Please like this video, comment, and subscribe. So this movement is relying on claims that they're just mocking or trolling real Yahtzees. But actually, many are now taking this seriously. In his further post, he already calls furries a nation and said something about the NS revolution. I mean, they call themselves the Third Reich. And the leader claims that his name is Foxler. It seems like trolling, but there are people who support it. And I think it explains how serious the situation got. But I have to say, the first community is actively opposing this movement. They don't live with this guy as their Führer. Everyone who supports it gets kicked out of the community. And no one would even talk to them.
Or we will make you leave! You can let go of this anytime!
Wow, before making this video, I didn't even know that furries have so much drama. In this video, you can see a former furry who's in fact a Yahtzee, and that's why he got kicked out. But he still attended some furry meetup and got beaten up for it because no one likes him, and which is kind of deserved. I don't know about you, but I barely knew anything about furries, except for questionable content I stumbled upon on TikTok. I feel like we misjudge the community in general, but they really need to deal with the part no one likes. Because Yahtzee furries have their own fan base, and you know how shocked I was when I found out that they have games about it? Yahtzee furry will wonder you with animations of hot, unusual characters after every successful past level. You need to show up your logic and interest in puzzle game to enjoy everything with furry girls prepared for you. All characters are over age of 18. Based on the screenshots of the game, I can tell you something about the gameplay. It basically consists of Yahtzee furries, furry corn, and puzzles. What else do you need for a good game, right? If you're not ready to see a cock with a giant cock, don't play this game. Why are they Yahtzee? Why everything they do is woohoo with each other? I don't know. But I have to give it to this game, at least it has low system requirements. So I guess it's a popular thing, cause we have another game, Furry Hitler, and don't forget about the Furry Hitler 2. So I have to say that in the first gameplay picture they have a furry cat covered in white liquid with her kitty cat out. And let me tell you about the reviews, because they're mostly positive. This game changed my life. The 41 minutes and 39 seconds I played were the most thought-provoking, emotional, impact-filled moments of my life. This game basically saved me. Thank you, Furry Hitler. Thank you for this modern masterclass of storytelling. Can we stop for a sec? So since when we make games where Yahtzees are viewed as good guys? I was shocked that these games exist. But it looks like it has a positive reaction from the audience, so we get second parts. This is so scary. You like to watch corn? Fine, play the game with one hand. But people call this a masterpiece? Are you okay? But unfortunately, it's not the only branch of furries I've found. What do you think about the community called Furries with Guns? And guess what? It is a subreddit with furries shooting and posing with guns. Like, what kind of fetish is that? I'm not gonna pretend like I'm surprised. A minute ago, I was telling you about Yahtzee furries woohooing with each other. This is nothing in comparison to the games. But that doesn't mean I couldn't find anything spicy. The problem with furry community is that it's over-sexualized by the members of their own community. Everyone who is outside of the community usually doesn't contact any furries. And the most controversial ones are always the first we see and of course discuss. And I mean, I get it, it is pretty wild. To make you understand the scale of the problem, this is what I saw on Reddit after searching furries. You know why all of the content is blurred here? This is furry corn. This video is 100% furry corn with no punchline. If you don't want to see furry corn, don't click on this video. You're at your own risk of seeing furry corn if you click this. As a professional journalist, I had to know the truth only to be honest with my viewers. Unfortunately, it is indeed a 100% furry corn with no punchline. And of course I can't let you see it on YouTube. But for you I have a more appropriate content but still shocking to make you roughly understand what we are dealing with. If you're asking yourself what the hell this is, get ready. I'm basing my knowledge from the comments. Just so you know, it was as weird for me as it is right now for you. I think a blindfold and sort of gag already says a lot about the context. But if it's not enough, this is a search suggestion TikTok gave for this video. Limbless furry. Yes, it's what you thought. BDSM fursuit kink. Their arms and legs are bound, so they are walking on their hands and knees, and their feet are in the tail. I don't want to go deeper and make assumptions on what it is. I don't think you will like it, I don't think YouTube would like it. And there are so many videos where they don't even hide it. Or pretend like other creators do. No, it's just super bald. A wolf lying on a red bed touching his giant knockers. You know, it's kind of educational. I don't know who needs to educate themselves about new types of kinks, but here you go. Need someone to feed me. I think it's called an inflation kink. I don't know, I kind of wish I never learned about it. But it's not the first video where I mentioned this thing. You know, furries are like a small society. They have the same problems as us inside of it. Yahtzees are like weird politics. The only difference is that they wear fursuits. And yes, it makes all sexualized content much weirder. You know, I think I understand why furry fetish content is popular. No, I didn't like it, that's not what I meant. It's a simple logic. They don't show real body parts, so social media doesn't count it as an adult content and doesn't ban it. I mean, it is harder to moderate content where you can't even see a person because they're hidden under a giant plushie. But that doesn't mean that their content is less provocative. Showing the shark fur that the ocean ain't the only thing they can dive in. For the sake of the investigation, I tried really hard to understand the fandom. Unfortunately, or not, I couldn't find any strength to play any of the games. But I watched the anime TV series Beastars. It's quite popular in the furry community, and I'm sorry if it's not the best choice, but it showed up to my Netflix, so I watched it. My conclusion: it was kind of fun because they had to resolve the problems between herbivores and carnivores. And hopefully there were no Yahtzees, so that's great. But every time there was some sort of intimate scene between them, I was screaming, hiding under the couch, and asking for help. I don't know, guys, but it's really weird. I couldn't help myself running away from the screen when the bunny asked the wolf if, forget about it. But it's an anime, and people we see are real. So it's like 100 times worse. Like, what is that urge to show me their furry butthole? Yes, it's a costume, but why do you need to make it anatomically correct in some places, and in some places add gigantic milkers? I guess one does not exclude another? Who am I to set the rules in the furry fandom, right? In fact, make them that big that it's hard to walk. At this point, it's more inconvenient than it really does something. That's what I thought before seeing other videos of this creator.
With the wisdom of the day, boobs are natural stress balls. Ironically, they come attached to the greatest stress-creating device.
I don't know, but adding a robe on a fursuit actually looks more questionable and weird than if there's no clothes like other furs do. And you can also notice it by the excitement and the comments. Look, very good video and very nice outfit. There are stress balls that I need in my hands. You should let me grab them, squish them, and play with them. This creator actually got my eye not only by... you know. I also find it pretty interesting how they interact with their audience. Sorry, been doing the laundry and this is all I could find. Giggles. Anyways, what can I make you for supper? The thing I said about the clothes is even more obvious there. Tell me if I'm crazy or you can see what I mean. But the worst content usually happens when they film a person with a suit and one without it. POV, you're addicted to furries. But the worst part of it all is that this content is so easy to find. You literally just type the word furry and this content will find you by its own. And I think it might feel so unfair to the rest of the normal community. Cause listen, I'm making this video not to shame them. I want to shed light on this topic. So I have to tell you that furries outside the things I've shown you today are actually pretty decent people.
What happens when you're wearing your full fursuit and you gotta go number 1 or like number 2 or like number 3?
Get ready. This is so weird,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I take it off.
Right.
And then I go. That is such a stupid question.
Yeah, obviously they're not stupid. Even though there is a lot of kink content, we have to learn to separate them from the community. Those guys would find it interesting to keep the suit on. The rest of them, no. I get why they get frustrated with this question. Imagine someone thinks that you're stupid and asks you the question, so how do you pee with your pants on? I don't. And if you think furries don't understand why people think their community is weird, no, they get it. Just if some part of the community is kinky, that doesn't mean that all of them are. And I think the biggest concern of mine is the age of the furry community. community? There are many similar communities, like furries for example, and they're mostly kids. But furries on the other hand, as I noticed, are mostly adults. But that doesn't mean that minors don't do it. And remember the post on Reddit I've shown you? They are gonna see this part, and I don't know how it's gonna affect them. Actually, the big part of the furry content you'll see is fetish or questionable. Maybe because they get the most views or it is a very popular kink, I don't know. But that's how it seems. But I still think it would be great to change our perspective on furries and treat them like normal people. Most of them are very friendly and pretty reasonable.
The only context around what furries are is from like a CSI episode. So it's kind of negative and it's strictly sexual. So I guess my first question is being a furry strictly a sexual thing?
Absolutely not. That is by far the most annoying misconception that everyone always say, is it sexual? Is it a kink? Is it a fetish?
Sexual.
Sexual fetish.
Fetish.
No, but of course there are people who are in it and do that stuff, and that's perfectly fine. People can do whatever they want. People can enjoy themselves. But on a base level, it's just about art, it's just about costumes, and it's just about being yourself.
Even though today I've shown you not the most appealing part of the community, we have to remember that most of them do it for fun and art. And don't forget that the biggest rule of the community is the acceptance of who you are. And I think it's a great thing a lot of people have to learn from furries. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm a small creator and it is really important for me. Bye!